Welcome back, and we are live here at Heavy Muscle Radio on this February 7th, 2022 afternoon. This is 13 years of RX Muscle. John Romano and I started this whole thing. Chris joined in pretty soon afterwards, and then we yanked Lee in with us. But John, 13 years.
It's incredible. We're only, I think, 1 or 2 years behind. I think 2 years behind. Superhuman Radio is the longest running,
right?
Fitness oriented.
Well, truth be told, John, I think I filled in for you because you got banned.
Yeah,
I did.
And then I think after a decade they let you back. But Dan Solomon says now freedom of the press.
Right.
And that means Lee gets to come back until.
Well, I think I got John back.
That's
right. That's how it went. Yeah.
What's that?
John and I
got John back.
John
Then I got
had
Lee
to go
back.
do the Shotgun Big Show
for Jack. Yeah. And now we're back here.
Yeah. The amazing thing is, John, we've never missed a week. And it's been 13 years. So do the math times 52 weeks a year. That's how many shows we've done. I can't even do the math. It's so.
That means, hold on. Grab the one. 25 shows.
We're definitely around about 700 shows, something like that.
Something like that.
Mathematics wasn't my strong point, but I think it's 25.
In the beginning, we were doing like 2.5-hour shows too, John and I. We would interview
we used
three guests.
And we used to have to call Voice America, right? Like at 8 o'clock. I didn't exactly on time.
But it was worse than that because when we switched to RX Muscle, when we left MD, it was too expensive to do Voice America. So we had Jeff, the producer, set up that like recording in my house, and I was a nervous wreck because I was always nervous like the thing would stop recording or it wasn't getting it. And we did some pretty good we did some pretty high end interviews back then.
Well, but it's not to say that the recording sometimes did not.
We had to redo shows. Yeah, we had to do redo shows.
Why hasn't Tyler should put together a montage of the shows over the years?
Yeah.
Lee, I wish I had the time and patience to go back and listen to some of those and pull like the best of. I need like someone like who has nothing to do all day, who can just watch the shows and just clip it for me and do like the best stuff. If anyone wants to do it, I'd be happy to send you all the shows.
And all those little
contact Dave if you have nothing to do all day long, and then contact me because I want to do that too.
Yeah,
I have nothing to do all day long.
Yeah, how do you do that?
I got to definitely pull some. There was some really good ones, like when we had the Arnold impersonator. I should definitely replay that show. And
the little special ones we did, like when we tried to kill Valentino in a restaurant in Manhattan, and all the skits that we did in the studio.
Right, but I'm just thinking just Heavy Muscle Radio itself. I mean, you're right that this is 13 years of RX Muscle, but technically, I'm just thinking in terms of Heavy Muscle Radio. Right. I can't believe we never missed a show in 13 years. Even when I was in Abu Janya, Brazil, Aaron Singerman, he's we know where he is right now. He took over for me for that show and actually called me. I was in like there was one 10-foot square of of Wi-Fi service there that I had to stand in like with my phone like to my mouth like this. If I moved an inch this way, I didn't have service. And and I got on the show for that day, so I've never.
Singerman's probably bending over backwards to get on the show now. Literally bending over backwards. Or is that too soon? Too soon?
The 17th, right?
When is he getting the 17th of this month?
I think the 17th. That's what.
Now, do you think is his sentence going to be worse or better than Aaron's?
That's a good question. What do you think?
Well, I think it's a wash because on one hand, PJ's got the priors, which adds. And then on the other hand, Aaron had that blast of aberrant, drunken, blitzed behavior behind the wheels of very, heavy vehicles. And I think that could have, added to his and his blatant, unrepentant lack of remorse, which the cops hate. So add all that up, and then add
John, you could have saved him a fortune. No, because you would have got the letter in the mail, right, and marched down to his office and said, "This is what we're going to do," and he would have called his lawyer, and you would have said, "No." And even if he had gone all that way, you would have been able to coach him on remorse.
Yeah, that's a big thing, man.
You know what you should do, John? You know how you contacted the Titus prosecutor after Titus got put in jail? You should contact the Aaron and PJ's prosecutor, and you should say, I'm doing a story on this whole thing, and I want to know if these guys would have come forth right away, once they were indicted and said, hey, look, you know what? We screwed up, cut us a deal. How much time do you think they would have gotten?
I can tell you, right? I mean, I'd be shocked if they had actually letter one, the first letter, the very first time, if they had actually at that point put up their hands and said, we quit, sorry, we didn't know, or we didn't mean it, or how can we make this right?
I'm talking about when they got indicted, John, not when they were told to stop selling the stuff.
No,
once they got indicted.
You know what it's like, John? It's like watching a high school football game. After the game, when the player said, you know what, if he had just caught the pass, on the 20, we would have won the game. But there's so many places where you could insert yourself and say to say, like, while it was happening, hey, have you thought of this? Right?
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, the whole idea that these wheels move very slowly. That he had ample time at any point in this thing, especially toward the beginning, to have handled it differently.
What advice do you think Alan Dershowitz gave him off the record, Dave?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah,
off the record, he gave him advice.
Well,
right?
Hello.
Chris Cormier joining us.
Chris,
the real deal.
The real deal. What up?
What's up?
He's got the Olympia shirt on. Look at that, Mr. Olympia.
I miss talking to Chris.
That's what you got to do. You got to check out what's happening. What's up, guys?
Yeah.
I was talking about you today, Chris. I said, Chris Cormier is like the George Foreman of bodybuilding, because not that you were always liked, I'm saying, but you have reinvented yourself. You're like the happy, elder statesman that everyone just loves now. Like everyone, Chris Cormier. No one says a bad word about you. We don't hear any drama about you anymore. You're living it's like you changed your whole lifestyle over. I love it. I love that you
appreciate you, man. Thank you, brother.
And you're doing well. That's what's even better. You're doing very well.
Yeah, he's doing great.
That's the public Chris. We know the real Chris. Wink, wink.
But you know what it is?
Man, y'all look brighter than me. I need to turn on the light right here. Hold on a second.
All right, yeah. Put something in front of your face.
I'm good. Leah, should I ask him about that Australia show that he's still pissed about?
Don't bring it up, please. Don't bring it up.
Okay, Dave, you bring it up.
It's like Ronnie. It's like Ronnie.
Already on his mind the minute he says Lee. He's like.
All right.
Okay. Bring it up. Look, Chris, you got to have to go get this.
Chris, give me that. Did they fix that Australia Pro show for Lee?
Who should have won that? What year was that, Lee?
2005.
What?
Look,
2005. Oh, that's in Australia.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Man, they fucking read me bad in that show.
He's not going to sleep again tonight. Look, he's just getting over it over all these years, and now he's not going to sleep.
What shots did Lee take you out on, Chris?
Everyone.
I was like, man, I ain't never coming back to this motherfucker ever again.
They love you in Australia too.
But you know what? You guys both did the lat spreads the same way. You pulled the trunks up on the right.
Well, that's why I gave people like the victory speech, because Chris was upset, and I said, "Yeah, I know he's upset and that." And I said, "When I win they beat me in America. Here he is in Australia." I just said, "Welcome to my world." That's the first time I've been home in 7 years, and that's Chris. Look, Chris had already won it 3 times already. Come on.
He probably still sold a ton of pictures and shirts and whatever else he brought with him.
No, he went to his hotel. He went to his hotel room and cried. He didn't sell anything. He was too upset. He's like, "Fuck this place, never coming back. This racist fucking country. They're so shit."
They gave him a free fucking pro card and everything. I was like, man, this guy's younger than me. How do you get a
19?
Yeah, 19.
I guess when you win the Mr. Australia, 25 times?
Damn.
It's like automatic at that
Starting at 13,
Right.
So
I can see it now. There's a psychiatrist somewhere in LA, and there's Chris going in. As Chris goes in, how you going, Ronnie? What were you here for? That fucking Lee Priest. I can't still get over it.
It's like the Casey Viator with
Dave,
Arnold.
I knew you're going to say
right. No, Menser. It was like Menser.
Who did Casey?
Viator.
Right.
Casey's what? Franco?
Yeah, no, Dave. It was the right when
Casey Viator also was crazy about something. Who did he lose to?
Arnold.
Arnold too. Yeah.
Yes.
Arnold.
And Menser too, and Louis for that matter.
That's true. Yeah. I don't know.
Well, they almost had a fight.
Some of these guys can't let it go, you know.
Well, I mean, Arnold gets in your head, you know, and then he fucks with you, and then that's what you're left with. PTSD.
Yeah. But you know, you figure later in life you start to like laugh at it and say, "What a dummy I was! How immature was I being?"
No,
you know?
Dave, for crazy people, gets even worse.
Crazy people, you just said it. Crazy people, right?
Because they're always analyzing what.
Yeah, that's right.
What could have been, you know.
Yeah. Maybe if I on Friday had I eaten a little bit more,
exactly.
I would have. My pecs would have been fuller, and I would have.
Chris was thinking if I had got to the show a couple of days earlier rather than do whatever he was doing. What were you doing, Chris, to miss all those flights? Were you chasing something?
I had this girl I was seeing at the time. She couldn't get into the country. I was trying to wait to see if we can fly together, but then it didn't turn out. So I was like,
women bring down empires and bodybuilders.
I gotta go.
It's like Chris was like the city of Troy brought down by a woman.
Oh man. And I was, like I said, I was eating turkey sandwiches over there the whole time. I got this one in the bag. It's only fucking Lee.
That's why I heard. See, secret be told, I heard Chris said that at the Arnold Classic. Someone said to Chris at the Arnold backstage, "Are you going to the Australia?" He's like, "Yeah." Like, you're going to stick to your diet? He's like, no, it's okay." So I went, I'll go out a week earlier.
Never underestimate Lee Priest when he's hungry. Lee probably wanted to buy a new car or something like that.
But the thing was, this was 2005 though. He was just recovering from the San Fran in 2002, and then I had to go 3 years later and win another one on him. So it's just like he was just recovering.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, you forgot about that.
Champions don't like to lose.
No.
Not to a cracker anyway. Fuck that.
Dude, the funny thing is that we were all around at that time, and we all know exactly what we're talking about. we all got some kind of story with that hanging around each other at some point.
Who won the Arnold?
Who got third at that scene?
Was that Jay's? One of Jay's wins?
No, that was Dexter, dude.
Oh, Dexter won. Okay.
Jay left
and then Dexter didn't come to Australia because he used to go a lot also.
No, but he was going. I beat him in a few Australian shows, but Dexter didn't start beating me until 2005. When that happened, once that happened, then it was like we went back and forth a little bit, but then he, I faded out shortly after that.
Why didn't he go to Australia after that?
I don't know about the time. We did the show in San Francisco after that. And that's why I beat Dexter a week later. After the Arnold Classic, I beat Dexter a week later. Everybody from the Arnold was in the show in San Francisco after that.
That's right.
Because 02 San Fran, when I won, you were second and Dexter was third, wasn't it, San Fran?
Yeah.
I forgot. So Dexter won the Arnold, and then you won the San Francisco?
I always got screwed at the big shows. Yeah. I don't know why.
And then the Australia was the week after that?
I think it was
you were probably out partying if I know you after San Francisco. Definitely.
Because I wasn't planning on doing it in San Francisco. I was going to just pack it in. Right. I was like, man, I didn't care about diet. I didn't care what I ate, drank, nothing for a couple of days. Just just off my rocker. And then I just got up out of bed and said, you know what? I'm going to go to the show. I'm going to fucking fuck everybody up. Did some insulin R and
did you really?
Went to the gym. Next day, I won that show.
You just drove up. You just drove to San Francisco and said, "Hey, can I do the show?"
Yeah, because John Lindsay did the show. Yeah, I got the videotape, man. You got to see that. That was a good show.
That's funny. So then how did you decide to go to – were you planning on going to Australia after that?
Yeah, but I was so pissed after the Arnold that
Wow.
I didn't care what I did, and then I just woke up at 3 days later, just like decided I'm gonna just go for it and do it, and
then
turned
you
out I
got
got
cocky
another
because
win.
then you got too cocky because you're like, oh, I just beat Dexter in
Yeah.
San Francisco. So like,
Some other
how am I going to
sandwiches.
lose to Lee Priest?
It's
right?
only fucking
Australia.
Lee, little ass Lee.
Yeah, that short fucker. How can I lose to him?
I could beat Lee 80%.
Right. We don't see that anymore, though, right, Chris?
That plan went down the drain.
If a guy wins the Arnold, he wins every show after that. You don't see switching, flip-flopping, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they worked us hard at San Fran. When I won that and Chris was second, then Dexter was third. Remember, they kept us out there for like 6 times in a row. And I remember Chris, I think after the 4th one, Chris sort of bent down and got over because he's like cramping a bit. He's like kneeling over, like, you're right, Chris. And as he's doing that, I'm standing there like this, smile. Inside, I'm cramping up and I'm smiling, thinking, he looks like he's taking it hard. I'm going to keep smiling. Inside, I was dying, but I wasn't going to give in. I'm just smiling.
Crazy.
That's when, what's his name, run it? Giorgio, who's now chasing UFOs.
Oh, that's that guy, right? Who's on the UFO thing, whatever.
Yeah, with the crazy hair. Yeah.
He's good, that guy.
Giorgio.
He missed his calling.
How do you go from promoting bodybuilding shows to becoming a UFO researcher and all this? I guess both things are crazy, but
the question is, how do you get on that?
Go together.
Yeah.
What's that? How do you get on the TV show? That's the real question.
I think no one knew that it was that far into UFOs, and he studied all those, the different lines up there in the mountains, and he was so deep into it, but we didn't know. So
maybe Jimmy the Bull will be on TV with Flat Earth Theory, before we know it.
Could never
Jimmy
know.
the Bull.
Drawing in the sand, drawing pictures in the sand.
Where's Jimmy?
Is Chris a flat earther or a round earther? Do you think it's flat, Chris, or round?
Chris, do you think we live on a globe or do we live on a disc?
Globe.
Disc? Yeah, all right. Thank you. You can
wait till you talk to Jimmy. Jimmy will convert you.
That's true.
Gotta get past that ice wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to show you guys something. I don't know if you guys saw this video yet. Do you think this is real or is it fake?
Just a girl's ass.
If it's bodybuilding, it's fake.
Ramy versus Larry
Ramy.
Look,
I simply made a comment on this and everyone started abusing me. If you can't tell that's fake, Lee, you're an idiot. So if you can't tell that's fake, look closely. You've got no business.
What are you supposed to be looking at closely?
I don't know.
I just thought it was...
all these people that commented saying, you don't know nothing about arm wrestling. I said, well, look at your pictures. You don't know nothing about bodybuilding, but here you are.
I mean, even if they are fooling around, you think, is this reckless of like a Mr. Olympia, Chris, to be like arm wrestling someone,
That's crazy, man. You could break your arm that way.
That's what happened to Victor.
Especially with that guy.
That's right. You're right. I forgot that.
Ian Valier, I think, broke his arm too, didn't he?
Did he arm wrestling?
Yep.
It's the dumbest thing. I used to arm wrestle when I first started. Everyone and you're always straining rotator cuffs because bodybuilders just are not meant to lift that, to move that way. We don't do movements like that. You don't practice that.
Well, I do, but a lot faster.
Man.
Anyway, so you think that was staged, guys?
Yes.
It's still kind of reckless of Ramy to be doing that, probably. Because Victor was screwing around with that guy, and that guy pushed his hand hard, and he caught him off guard, and he broke his arm, right?
It's all fun and games until a bicep tendon snaps.
Yeah. Well, I actually had a guy at the Arnold Classic. He was one of the world champion arm wrestlers. He wanted a photo with me because of my forearm, and he did that. We're just taking the photo, and I put my arm like that, and all of a sudden he went whack really fast. And he goes, haha, and I went, what the fuck? Because my arm went. It's like it almost, because I wasn't ready for him doing it, my arm just went, ah. I'm like, shit.
Did it hurt?
Yes. He thought it was funny.
Chris, stop moving around over there. You make it.
I know. I'm trying to.
Cormier.
Is this static?
Cormier. Sorry.
Yeah, you got to go by Cormier. I don't.
He's getting there. He's trying to get the proper angle there.
Yeah.
The best looks perfect.
Do you hear static?
Not when you move the phone around, I hear static. Yeah, not now.
It was static.
What they don't touch it.
Prompted me to do so.
Oh, you were good. No, you were good. the best arm wrestling story, and we've told this before. Jimmy the Bull told we had these arm wrestles in our studio. I don't know if you guys remember. Yeah, I hear that little crickling noise now coming through again.
I hear it now. Yeah. Thanks, Chris, for bringing it to our attention. We hear it now.
It was fun.
You may have to leave the link and come back again. You might just have a bad connection.
You think?
Yeah, I think it's.
Shit. All right.
Let's come back. So Jimmy the Bull was in the studio, and we had these arm wrestles, professional arm wrestles in there, and one of the guys was Joey Buttafuoco's brother.
Yep.
Joey Buttafuoco of the Amy Fisher, Jamie.
Nobody knows that story anymore.
Probably no
but
one
go
knows.
ahead.
Okay, how long ago was that? 1990?
That guy stayed relatively famous for a long time over that.
The three is Joey Buttafuoco, Elena Bobbitt, whatever the other one is. Remember the preacher who had the tryst, the original.
Jessica
the guy Jessica Hahn.
Jessica Hahn.
Those are the three original pop.
Oh,
she was from Long Island. You know who knows Jessica Hahn? Mr. G.
Really?
Of course.
He used to train the Reverend Profeta who was sleeping with her.
No. What's Tammy Faye's husband was?
Tammy Faye's husband.
Oh, Baker.
Yeah.
Baker. Yeah, Jim Baker. Jim,
by the way, sells like COVID.
Jim Baker was right.
He went to the feds are on him, John Romano.
No. I thought he died.
He's selling stuff on the air and they went after him.
Remember his big apology where he's like, I have lied to you. I've sinned, and he's crying and carrying on. Oh my God.
So listen, let me tell the story. I'm going to forget the story. I can't remember anything. Joey Buttafuoco's brother's in there, and Jimmy the Bull's telling this story about how he, back in his heyday, he arm wrestled some guy who said he was like an arm wrestling champion, and Jimmy said he put him down twice. And Joey Buttafuoco's brother got insulted. He thought that Jimmy was insulting arm wrestlers, saying that he was stronger than arm wrestlers, and he wanted to start a fight with Jimmy in the studio. I couldn't believe it. As a matter of fact, I was shocked that Jimmy controlled himself because I thought Jimmy was going to blast him.
Jimmy's hard to control when he gets.
Yeah, I really thought there was going to be a fight, and all these guys were kind of tough guys. I didn't know what was going to happen. I thought Jimmy was drinking wine.
You never got to worry about Jimmy ever. Never. No. I would, if I had to storm the beaches of Normandy, I would want to be next to Jimmy. You never have to worry about it.
Yeah, you find a way out. Anyway, all right. Let's.
But but those girls, Fisher and Lorena Bobbitt and the other one you just
Jessica
Amy Fisher.
These women, I mean,
Fisher.
Remember Amy Fisher?
What do you say?
Amy Fisher was sleeping with Joey Buttafuoco. He denied it, and then she got obsessed with the fact that he said he was going to leave his wife, but he really wasn't. So she shot Mary Jo Buttafuoco, the wife.
She came to the door. She knocked on the door. She knocked on the door. She opened the door and bang.
I thought she pistol whipped her.
No, she shot her. It grazed her face. She got some paralysis of her face.
Yep.
And Amy Fisher went to jail.
Yep.
And then actually, Mary Jo, the wife, is the one who actually testified at her parole hearing and got her out earlier than she was supposed to, like after 8 years. And then Joey and her actually started dating at some point. Again, did you know that?
Yeah.
Total sense.
Then
Monica Lewinsky had nothing on these women.
Then she did porn. Yeah, I don't know. The whole thing was crazy.
Remember when we had Lisa Lips in the studio?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. Derek Anthony brought her in.
Eric Anthony brought her.
All right, we got to get to the show. The show is obviously Tom Prince. We all knew him very well. I mean, I know Chris, you really knew him well, and I want to tell stories about him. I didn't even know this, but Chris, you actually had probably the earliest story, Tom Prince story. You actually worked with him. Tell us how that happened.
Yep, Tom came up to my place in Maine before he did the Florida. I don't even know what year it was. It was 93 or so, 94, 93. And he was, on the trajectory to be a phenomenal pro because he was, well, Chris can tell you, Cormier, Yeah, he was really strong. A lot of people talk like they're strong. He was really strong. 405 bent over rows were easy for him. 400 was a joke on the bench press, absolute joke. Side laterals, I can't even remember what they were, but he was really strong, and he was really young at that time, and he was just. I mean, anyone could tell you that.
How did he contact you? Who put him in touch with you?
Luzwick's friend, Marty Demerjian.
Okay.
And at that time, the trio, Dave, was Jay. It was Jay, who used to come up, Prince, and the guy from Canada who turned pro at like 21, Bruce Patterson.
Oh, dude, Patterson.
And we all went to, what's so funny?
Yep. You're right.
Dave, we all went, the four of us went to the New York Pro when I think it was Levrone won. And Levrone was phenomenal there.
Who flew those guys up there? Was that like a Luzwick?
No, Marty Demerjian.
Damn, I ain't heard that name in a long time.
Well, here's one for you, Cormier. George Zachary.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh. Hello.
Dave doesn't know George Zachary.
I don't know George Zachary.
George Zachary.
Yeah, George was like the what's homeboy's name from Golds?
He had the
Ed.
He had the donut like cushion.
The black Ed.
Black Ed.
You had to be black to be in his circle.
Oh,
told you, Dave.
Exactly.
That's funny.
He'd always sit at the firehouse.
Except he liked Lee Priest too, I heard.
Oh, he liked
But you know what though?
He'll talk to me, but I wasn't like on the list.
But George hooked me up with Robbie Robinson at a young age, and he was friends with Robbie. So he's like, Robbie, I want you to train with this kid. George walked up to me when I was 18 years old, and said, "Hey, you could be Mr. Olympia," and I was like, "What?"
Oh,
I
really?
just took fourth at the Palm Springs team, and you telling me I could be Mr. You telling me I could be Mr. Olympia one day?
Hey, Chris,
isn't it funny how there's like guys that look like they don't even work out ever, and
he didn't work out ever.
Yeah,
and they know.
Chris, he had a great eye, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He was like, Chris, he said, "I'm telling you," and he was like, and he walked away, and my girlfriend came up at the time, and she was like, he gave me this check to give to you. It was like enough money to go to the Cal State Teenage Championships when I was 18, and I actually took third in the Cal that year. But he gave me the money to go, and he's like, it's not that you want anything. He was just like, man, he saw potential, and he was like willing to put his money behind it, and I was just like, man, I'm forever grateful to that dude, man. Seriously.
The Cal team was probably like the NPC Nationals are now, right, Chris?
Yeah. I took third that year, and then
like all three of them could place top 5 at the Nationals, probably.
Oh man,
who won the teens that year, Chris?
Who won the teens?
Yeah,
man, I forgot his name, but he was jacked. I remember that kid. He had gotten into some trouble because I stayed in touch with him after that through the years, and I forgot what he did, but he was selling some heavy stuff and did some years and stuff. But he's really? He had a lot of potential. I forgot his name now.
He's probably in jail telling people, I beat Cormier at the team.
Yeah.
And people are like, you're
that guy's
shit.
nothing. Yeah. He's nothing.
Yeah. And the second place guy is probably telling people that too. So he didn't even win.
Oh, yeah.
I beat Cormier.
Yeah, but I was telling about George. He also would like call me up. I'm at work. I'm working at a hotel. I was about a bellman. He's like, hey, I got some posing lessons for you. You got to come up here to LA. And I was like, okay. I asked my boss, can I get off work? And I drive 2 hours.
Oh, we lost it. Hold on. Chris. Uh-oh.
He's frozen.
He's got the worst connect. Every time.
We're in suspense.
Yeah. I got to boot him.
No, we're in suspended animation is where we are.
Yeah. We almost had a good story out of him.
Oh, well.
So getting back, Chris, to the Tom Prince. So Tom Prince, Marty Demerjian puts you in touch with him. You work with him. He wins the Florida State?
Florida. Yeah.
Florida.
And then
what year was that?
maybe 90. I'll tell you exactly. It must have been 94 because I think there was like this weird thing. It was like I was helping Jay, and there was like this weird rivalry, and so I think I don't know that USA where he got second to Titus and looked great.
No, but in '95 he was second to Don Long. Remember that was the year that no one knew who he was.
Yeah. And then anyhow, but that's his strength. I was waiting to hear what Chris had to say about his strength because people talk about Cormier's strength.
Yeah.
And I wonder who's stronger. I would guess honestly. I would say Prince.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, I mean, Dave, he would throw around in perfect form, bench press 4. I mean, a lot of people can bench press 405, but I'm talking like 12, 14, 15 reps. Clean, like easy. And that was that was getting ready for the Florida at a light body weight. And you know how people do all the plates on the old fashioned leg press and they move it like 1/1,000,000th of an inch?
Yeah.
He would put all the weight, on the leg press and more, and he would bring it down all the way and push. You know what I mean?
Look at his legs; you can tell he did that. He used good for him. Chris, Cormier, who is stronger, you or Tom Prince?
Me.
Oh, then I was wrong. I picked Prince.
It was me, man.
I see what Chris is doing. Each time Chris goes off, he's
bro. He would have told you because he was really like. He would tell you right off the bat that it was like he had a lot of strengths and stuff, but he would be like, no, I mean, I was making sure I was as strong as in Gold's Gym Venice, that's for sure. You was gonna have to go somewhere else for that.
Hey, Dave,
a lot of people don't know how strong Cormier was.
He was ridiculous strong.
People think he just went and did pump workouts. And we were talking about that off camera before. And I said, Chris was like an animal in the gym.
Maniac. I'll never forget.
That's what he's doing. That's what Chris is doing now. He says he's got a bad connection, but each time he disappears, he's pumping up and coming back on and pulling the sleeves up. I can see what's going on here. He got some dumbbells off to the side. He's pumping up and then he's coming back on.
Yeah.
I see what's going on. In that Olympia shirt.
Cormier, and anyone talk faster than Tom Prince?
Oh, no.
Huh?
Tom, no.
What? How about nonstop?
Yeah, he could talk about anything, too.
He would talk, it would just like nonstop from the minute he woke up. That's what I remember him staying at my house is like the minute he'd be up, it'd be talking. The minute he'd go to bed, and he'd be in the bed in the other room and still trying to talk through the wall.
Oh, really?
To the wall.
What, Chris? Looking at Tom's career and watching Tom in Golds, for all those years, what happened to Tom? You think? I mean, obviously we know he had the kidney issues, but was there like something that you think that maybe he didn't do right?
You know what though? I mean. I think he was 10 times better than what he actually realized.
Yeah.
In my opinion. Just having the conversations I would have with him. You look at him like those legs and you like these different, astronomical body parts and you'd be like, damn, like you don't really know what makes someone tick until you start talking to him sometime. And I think he was way better than what he actually realized he was.
He wasn't a great poser. He definitely didn't know how to display what he had. Right.
But like I say, I'm just saying it was there. That's what I'm saying. It was there.
Best side leg.
It had a very distinctive look. Different distinctive shape. He was like I wouldn't say Bob Paris, but he was like he had a lot going on. Had a lot of the very distinctive shape about his physique and stuff.
Chris Aceto, what would you say was Tom's biggest strengths on stage?
Delts, triceps, and quads. He had crazy delts,
hammies,
crazy triceps, and crazy lower body. His lower body looked like a frog's.
The hamstrings are retarded.
Yeah, they were insane
on the side.
But I agree with Chris. I mean, I don't think he somewhere along the line, I think he just, it's funny. I don't think Chris makes the point that he didn't realize he didn't have the confidence really, I don't know if he didn't know what, he seemed like he lost his confidence somewhere between, like getting second in that Nationals or USA. And then I think he was second to Titus. And although he got when he won his pro card, he was like better than when he got those second places, like way better when he was second.
I agree.
And then he like went on to the pros, and I think he couldn't find his way for whatever reason in terms of he just couldn't establish himself. He couldn't put his foot down and get a win or a second or a third where, as a pro, you have to be able to get a win to boost your confidence and they'll drag you up. Or you have to be able to get like a third in a show where like Cormier or Lee Priest or somebody, big names are ahead of you, but you get the comparisons to them. And then after you look at pictures and you say like, wow, I'm actually better than these guys in this shot. At least you got one or two shots where you can, think that, okay, I beat them. And
right.
It just, and then by the time, time went on, then he had health issues. So it's like the superstar that never materialized.
2001, when he was third at that Night of Champions.
Though,
do you think he deserved to win that show, or was that, that was the show Orville Burke won?
I think Orville beat him where else did Orville beat him? I mean, Orville Burke was a freak.
But Tom was an absolute shredded, dry. I think that was his best look ever.
Yeah, that was his best. Yeah.
It almost seems like Tom Prince and Paul DeMeo sort of had the same. They both were incredible, but both of them never really realized their potential in the pros. It just seems something mental block came in whether they just placed bad at a show, and then from that point on, their confidence just went boom. Because look at Paul DeMeo, you think he would have went on to win some pro shows, but he just didn't. And same with Tom.
He was also at the house, Dave. How's that? It was like a Gruskin house around that time. Jay was there. Cormier was there.
No.
You came to visit. You came to guest post me.
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
You ran a show?
Yeah, I ran a couple shows. I ran shows before people were running shows.
Yeah, I posed for Chris before.
What was Chris's?
I saw a big ass moose in the parking lot.
Oh, were you there?
Yeah.
That's
what happened.
Big ass
what
moose
was Cormier's fee back then? What was he charging back then?
What did you pay Cormier for that?
What was it?
I paid you either 15 or 25.
Oh, that's
like
very
that.
generous. Yeah.
But his food bill would have been more for that a week.
On my phone bill.
Yeah, his phone bill, right?
Milos had beat him. Milos had beat him the week before in Toronto, right?
Oh my God! Did he?
But bro, I was in customs. I got there so late, and then I was shaving the night before. I felt like I blurred myself all out with that razor all over my body.
I'm seeing a pattern here. When Chris gets second, he's always turning up the shows late. He's got a million
excuses, right? Yeah.
But
no,
listen,
because when you came to Maine,
Dave,
you
but
were
I
there.
beat him the next week and at the Night of Champions, right?
That's right. You came to you were guest post for us.
I was like, okay, all right. I see you in New York though.
Yeah.
Now what was
Dave,
worse?
I got that video on tape. I got like in my hotel room the night before. Dillette was there. What's his name? From Iron Man, Tepper, Lonnie Tipper. He was in my room, and a couple other people. And I had my video camera out for some reason, and I was just talking to people and just like that atmosphere, and going from the hotel to the Beacon Theater next door.
Yeah.
And then coming back. I got all that on video, man. You got to check it out.
You got to send
it.
So
I had a laugh today because
Jimmy the Bull's in it.
Milos always posts pictures on his Instagram. I had a laugh today because there was a picture he posted of him and Chris, but every picture Milos posts is always a couple of feet in front. He's always every picture he puts up is always a foot in front of everybody else.
You would think he was
Milos, how did you lose? How did you lose to me, Ross?
Hey, he beat Ronnie a few times on his post.
Yeah.
He killed Ronnie.
He makes sure he does it when he takes the picture.
It'll be Ronnie before he was Ronnie. He'll be those years.
Chris, Cormier's got Cormier's got video like that. First of all, the documentary they did in here, I don't even know where all that video came from, but you got your own crazy video, people in hotel rooms. You got gems sitting in your possession that no one's even seen.
And I had videotapes. I had videotapes for like the last 25 years. I never looked at them, never put them back in a case or whatever, but I had them.
No one had phones, and Chris actually was smart enough to videotape everything. He probably had one of those big fucking clunky cameras.
Half the videos will go to
tapes. It's crazy. DVDs.
Half of them is going to be bodybuilding, and the other half will be.
But some is just me in a hotel room dancing and stuff. And...
Yeah, that's for the OnlyFans page we're going to start later on.
There you go. You could start a whole Instagram page probably just on all your video stuff you got. The clips, unbelievable. You were smart. No one had that. I have nothing of myself. Zero. I don't even have.
He's froze.
You know what the funny thing was back then? Those cameras were so bad that you could have a stadium light on you and you still look dark in those freaking videos.
Hey, Dave, I have. You ever heard of what's his name? What's the photographer from LA, Bill Dobbins?
Yeah,
he'd be right in the middle of a photo. You ever shot with him?
No, but I've had girls that I was dating that shoot.
But you'll be right in the middle of a photo shoot, and then he jumps on the guitar.
Yeah, guitar.
Yeah,
and he's playing his guitar. I got all that on tape. You got to see this shit.
Okay, I don't know, John. I don't know if I want to see that one.
I did some of them.
Girls would come back from a photo shoot with him totally exhausted, because the whole day, they got it. He would do like 900 Polaroids first.
He used to do gym photos.
Yep.
That would last like one bodybuilder would take 12 hours in gold.
Entire day. Right?
It's the dating experience you have to have.
Or if it was in his studio, he'd put you up on that black floor that's like the mirror finish, and he'll clean it, and then you couldn't walk anywhere, so you had to stand in that same spot because you would leave footprints. So as he had you in the middle, he'd start playing guitar. You're like a captive audience. You couldn't get away because you couldn't walk across there.
And then I'm doing some nude shots. It's all on video. I'm doing some nude shots, and I'm doing some artistic mood shots and stuff. Then it showed me jumping off the stage and going to the dressing room. He's walking right behind me. I'm naked. It looks really bad. I'm walking.
It was really bad.
Walking behind me, talking to me, and then the camera shuts.
You can make a fortune off that today.
He's still around, right?
Yeah.
So, Chris, someone wants to know what the heck was Jimmy the Bull doing in your hotel room at that?
No, he was in the video because I knew him from Palm Springs already.
Right.
When I was a kid, he used to live in Palm Springs.
Yeah.
And and of course you're gonna see each other and be, hey, what's up? Whatever. Right. But we became friends when I was a teenager, I believe, still in Palm Springs.
That's a long time, yeah.
Yeah. And so, but Jimmy, we did an appearance at a gym in I think Long Island Powerhouse after the competition, and he was doing an appearance also. So we were all there signing autographs and stuff.
Gotcha.
But I got Jimmy the Bull on tape. Got Jeep Swenson, Gregory Hines.
Oh my God, those are classics.
A little bit of Joe Weider, a little bit of Kobe Bryant. He's on the video.
Holy mackerel! You got to get some of that footage out. That's great.
Man, I'm gonna try to get it out there.
I was gonna say, I'm glad I'm not on your tape. Apart from Jimmy, everyone else is dead. You're
probably in there somewhere, Lee.
You're in there, Lee.
Where am I?
Lee, I heard
somewhere.
Did the Iron Man together. And,
I want to just tell you, Cormier told me off camera that you were in his hotel room with your penis tied to a coffee table. He wasn't sure what you were doing. He said,
I was doing lines of coke off the TV, pumping up. Chris said, "This is how you pump up back then." I believe.
Hey, Chris, Aceto. I got to just tell you this funny story. So I've been like a little sick the last week. So I've turned into my father completely. I've been I've turned the heat on. Now remember, I live in Florida. It's 70 degrees. I have the heat turned up in my bedroom. I got a sweatshirt on with a hood on, and I'm sleeping like this because I got the chills. You know, and you know what happens whenever you get sick? What do? You revert back to what your parents were. You try to think about, what did my father do when he would do this? Bundle up, right?
Well, you'd think it was lunacy back then, but now it's just, you think maybe he was right or something.
I don't think it's lunacy. We're fucking getting old.
Boy, oh boy.
Dave's going to blame Mr. G. You let Mr. G into your house, and now you got COVID.
Yeah, you know, I asked him, I said, how are you feeling? He's like, he's fine. He's like, I'm energized. I said, well, evidently I didn't get anything from you. I don't know. Anyway, getting back to Tom Prince, Chris Cormier, give me some Tom Prince stories that you can, memories that maybe things that you will always remember because,
oh man, just different trips. We go on trips to Hawaii. We guest post in different places. I posted those on my Instagram. Talking shop. We'd sit there and talk shop a lot. Posing and all that stuff. You just remember he was always had a sidekick because his wife was always there with him. But yeah, I just remember just talking a lot of shop with him and just traveling different places together and hanging out. We didn't really work out together, but we definitely was like we was close friends though.
When he had to stop competing, when he found out about the kidneys and how bad they were, do you remember, did you have a discussion with him about that? Did you ever?
See, because he started, he kind of like, once all that stuff had to happen, we had, I was kind of doing my thing. He kind of just start trying to, he kind of just focused on himself mostly after that, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And his health issue and stuff. And so we didn't really get a chance to really get into that that much. But, I was widely aware and, he was always saying he felt great. And later on we reconnected and I was just, talking to him about all the ventures he had going on.
Right. That
didn't have anything to do with bodybuilding, just the different apartments and real estate he was doing, and he became very well off, in my opinion. And
financially.
Yeah, it was I made a big business in with rentals and such, and he seemed happy, and just taking care of himself. I was just kind of thinking he was gonna live a lot longer than this. Yeah. Just relatively young for anyone anyway. So
when I got him on the TV show like a year ago, we had him on a few times, and he seemed like he was really kind of he liked the whole talking about bodybuilding again. He said he was doing really well, with his business, and his health seemed to be pretty stable. But he did tell me about he had gotten some like cancer diagnosis that he thought he was going to be able to take care of, but I guess. I don't really know how that progressed. That's why I really don't have any more details.
I reached out to his wife, or at least I sent the text from the phone.
Okay. Oh, that's
I got and I called and stuff, but I haven't heard back yet. Wow. So I'd like to reach out. I'd like to speak to her at some point, whichever she's ready to talk or something.
Aceto, what was the best look of Tom Prince's career, do you think? What was his best overall?
It's argued. I think you had already said what the New York Pro, but the year he was second to Titus, the year he was second to, was it Overwork at the Nationals, or he got Don Long.
Don Long, he was good.
He was damn impressive. Yeah. Him and Don were extremely impressive that year. Both of them were.
Do you guys remember impressive. How that worked? That whole scenario?
What's that?
What had happened, and I talked about it in my little tribute video I did to him. I was there because I went to the Nationals. I had just done the Junior Nationals. I won the heavyweight class. I did the USA, and then I wanted to see, the Nationals. I went to New Orleans. I wanted to see. I was so happy Don Long was going to win and get out of the class, right? So I didn't have to deal with him anymore. And I'm trying. You start scoping out your competition, right? I'm thinking, all right, Don Long's going to be gone, and that should leave it open. It should be a little easier. Jay really hadn't stepped in yet, and all of a sudden, they have the first call out, and they go through everything, and then all of a sudden, like, they're about to stop, and then John Kemper, if you remember John, he leans over and he's whispering to Jim Mannion, and he's like pointing at the end and at this guy that no one really knew who he was. It was Tom Prince, obviously. They hadn't had him in the first call out, and John wanted to see him up there in that first call out, so they pulled him out and they put him in the first call out. Next thing you know, the guy is right next to Don Long. They move him, and they're battling it out. And I'm like, holy shit, where the fuck did this guy come from? I'm like, now I got to know. I can't beat this guy, And I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, oh, another fucking crazy freak, But Tom had that look. You knew he was going to be just deadly. I mean, he had every body part. There was really no weaknesses, aside maybe from his posing, as you need to work on that a little bit. But that was the and then from that point on, I mean, that's the next year he did the USA and against Titus, and was that 96? USA?
5 or 6.
6. But Titus didn't win to 97. Who won in 96?
No, Titus won in 96.
Oh, right. It was the year after the Hill, and then in 97. 96 Nationals, Jay won, right? Yeah, and then Tom was second twice.
Yeah, Tom was second to him at that show.
Right.
That was supposed to be.
Do you think he deserved to beat Jay? I mean, you coached Jay, but
no.
Okay.
Not even close. Jay had already won that show in his head, a year earlier, and Tom had lost it in his head a year earlier because they knew each other, right?
Yeah, they were kind of friends, I think. Right?
Well, I mean, they had. Like Tom was no dummy. I'm sure he sized himself up next to Jay, and Tom had the crazy quads. Jay had the crazier quads. Jay, Tom had really good width. Jay had even more width. Tom had the crazy triceps. At that time, Jay had even crazier triceps.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're all equal, then you got Jay, Mr. Confident, without expressing it.
Yeah,
exactly. That just torpedoes everyone.
I think Jay. It's funny because Jay was how old at that show? 24.
Who knows? 20. Yeah, max.
But he was so much. His stage savvy and stage presence was so good.
Yeah, he had everything savvy at that.
Yeah. He just looked very confident up there. I remember that show. But of course, I remember. I was in the show, so I was fourth at that show.
Who was third at that show?
Orville Burke. Coming back again.
Damn. Good
Crazy, right?
Hey, do you think the judges criteria changed over the years? Personally,
what do you think?
Like a person that would actually win a show now, as opposed to before, if they was picking that same person, you think it'd be like?
I think the judges judge what's up there, Chris. I really do. I mean, it's always changing. The judging is a very hard. I really take that. I would never want to be a judge.
I know, right?
People, you know why? Because people blame you. Well, the last show you went for size. No, we didn't. We went for what was there, and that was the best guy. You know what I mean? Do they get it wrong? Yeah, they sometimes get it wrong. We know when they get it wrong. We've called them all out on it. They know that we've called them all out on it. But 98% of the time, they usually get it right. It's a tough job.
Yeah, it's tough.
Remember that 90? It was 2000. What was the show? Remember Branch Warren came back with the torn quad? What Arnold was that?
The second Arnold.
Yeah, it was the second Arnold.
Really, second Arnold.
Second Arnold that he won.
Yeah, was it 11 or 12 or something like that? I don't know.
Talking about judging criteria, Chris.
It was a horrible lineup. Everyone was off. No one was really that great. Branch was as good as he can be, although the leg still wasn't, that one leg. I mean, I don't even know how he did it. It's a miracle. 6 months after tearing his quad.
And a lat. He had a lat at one time.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it's a miracle he won that show, but he was hard, and he just had the leg was a little small, but they had to judge what was up there. I was like, I can't believe they gave it to him. And then I looked at the pictures. I'm like, you know what? No one was really better than him. And so did the judges make a bad decision? No, they judged what was up there. And I think you only can hope that every guy is at his best, but that never happens, right? Except 98. 98 Olympia. Everyone was at their best.
God.
People keep asking in the chat here for Olympia predictions. It's too soon for Olympia predictions. We don't want to do
December?
it. Okay. Jeez. No, the Olympiads. I mean, no, Arnold predictions. I mean, Arnold. The Arnold predictions. Yeah. That's like 5 weeks away, isn't it? Or 4 weeks away.
Cormier, who wins the Arnold?
Shit.
Brandon.
Well, right now it looks like Brandon's in the lead for me myself, from what I've been seeing. What's his name? What's his kid? Samson? That's the name? Samson?
Simon, is it? Simon?
Samson Dowda.
Yeah, Samson. Yeah.
How do you like him? Is he good? You think he's good?
He looks good. He looks good.
I've only been seeing pictures of Samson from the front, though. That's the problem, you know. Mm-hmm. His back is really, I think, what needs work. But
welcome back. He's pumped up again. I swear to God. Look, he's pumped up again. Look at him showing the guns. Look at that. I see. Yeah, Samson looks good.
What do you like about Samson?
I think he's got very good shape on him, and he looks like he's only going to improve.
I think that's gonna. To me, it looks like he got a body. Even when he drops water, he's gonna still have a lot of bells and whistles going on in his body. Mm-hmm. You know,
I think he has one of those bodies too, where he might not be the biggest, but when he gets on stage, Samson, he has the illusion when the lights hit him. He looks so round in places, and his symmetry in that.
I'm gonna get closer to my router.
Chris, you're killing us with that connection today.
I know. I gotta get closer to my router, man. It's like it keeps.
He's going
Regan
to the west.
Grimes. How do you think Regan Grimes will do?
Chris is going to the west wing of the mansion.
This guy.
Oh, yeah, we see. He's always commenting, saying how good Chris is.
You're hiding.
Hello.
That's like a panel right there.
Yeah.
There we go.
We're judging you right now. All right. Get under the line.
This guy doing the dishes. Isn't that great? Doing the dishes and shit.
Oh, so what a pro life. Look at the pro life.
All right.
That is.
I thought he had a fake. I thought that was a fake delt. It was so big. Holy mackerel.
No.
Right?
No. I'm going to get closer to the router so it don't keep putting me out.
Jesus, Chris, how big's your house? You've been walking for 10 minutes. Where's the router?
I'm telling you, Chris is like Donald Trump now. He's got like this huge man.
We're training, man.
You know.
Oh shit! Let me turn this down.
It got worse.
Yeah, I think it did.
It's clearer. I can hear him clearer. He's got the beautiful ceiling fan there, like he's in Hawaii. Look at that, the palms.
Okay. Here we go.
All right.
Now we're working.
All right. Who would have known the router was in the sex dungeon? Go figure. You never get a bad connection there.
Quicker uploads.
Who knew? Nothing worse when I'm on the vinegar stroke and that video pauses, I tell you.
Regan Grimes, what do you think, guys?
Yeah, and then you got I think and Williams, I think he's a lot fuller now than he has been the last couple of years, and so I know the judges always give him a good look.
How do you think Regan will do? Top 5?
Yeah, I mean, I think if he can keep his fullness and legs and everything get cut up, I think he's gonna, because I think he has a good look going. I think he's got that more of that Bob Perez look as far as shapely physique. So I think that's gonna. Yeah, so
what about Brett?
And then, like you say, it all depends on the day of the show when you wake up and you're right on. Look?
What about Brett when he gets in shape? He looks okay.
Yeah.
Is Brett Wilkin all they crack him up to be? Do you think he's going to come in here and make a statement? I mean, first year at the Arnold?
Who knows? I don't know. We always make these predictions, and we never know. We're just talking shit, really.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's like pulling the groundhog
there next to the guys first, because I never seen him next to those type of guys yet. So when I see that, then I can get a better gauge on that guy. You know.
Yeah.
See, that's not a good picture. That one, though. I wouldn't say that.
That's one of his latest shots.
Yeah, I'm trying to show.
It's not a good one, though. It's not a good one.
Well, you know what?
He did a lot of that.
Chris Aceto, you say this all the time, and you're right. A lot of people look really good alone in their Instagram, and that's not saying anything negative against them. I think Brett is going to do tremendous in the show, but until they stand against Brandon Curry on stage, and William Bonac and some of these top tier bodybuilders, it's a big difference, right, Chris?
Well,
I mean,
the thing with Brandon doesn't have weaknesses, really. He doesn't have weaknesses, and his strengths are overwhelming. His side tricep and side chest and front double bicep and front lat spread, in my opinion, are all phenomenal, and most muscular, and midsection. You can go on. That means he does not have flaws. And in a lot of lineups, no matter where you are, people have their own personal flaws. So that makes him, the guy to beat. In addition to that, you could have had him after Friday night winning the Olympia. I don't think anyone would have disagreed with that had he won. People, he's phenomenal. And then William Bonac, a really good William Bonac, I think can push Brandon. A really good William Bonac is extremely impressive. I mean, if you want to talk freaky, right, Cormier?
Oh yeah.
He's got freaky shoulders, freaky arms. Things look shot up, but they're not. He's got the non-jimmied up Jimmy body. No, because his delts look like they're jimmied up. His triceps look like they're jimmied up. His biceps look like they're jimmied up. His quads used to look like they're jimmied up. I think the problem with William, the only thing that's hurt him this last couple of years is simply that his legs have lost some fullness that they used to have. Especially this past Olympia, where I think he could have easily placed higher. And when Bonac's in condition, which he has been in condition the last couple Olympias, if you want to talk strided glutes and peeled hams, he's got better glutes and hams than anyone in this show, if that's a calling card. Plus, he's thick as a brick house.
True.
Has Cedric posted any pictures lately, or?
I don't think so.
Which could be either good or bad. There's no.
And Kuklo's, like the gatekeeper for. Kuklo's the dark horse here. What do you think of Kuklo, Cormier?
Of who?
Steve Kuklo.
Kuklo? Actually, I thought he looked pretty good this last year, and I felt like, I thought he was going to place a little better than Arnold. I was a little and plus, he has a huge frame, so you can always use that to your advantage when you're going against some of the smaller competitors. But he can always be dangerous. He can get really pissed off and really come in here crazy. You
look pretty pissed off in that picture.
Yeah. That's what we should try not to do, is piss each other off.
Yeah, I think that's going to be something that you have to consider. What do you think about a Nathan D'Asha? Can he come in here and shock some people? No one's really been talking about him too much.
Is he in?
He's in.
Is he doing it?
He's on the list though. Unless he backed out. Did I miss something?
I just didn't know with the travel or something.
I thought I would have heard him being in, and I didn't hear that.
He is on the list. I don't know if that the list has changed. So as of the 26th of January, he was on the list. I don't know.
He is not a lazy. He's a good bodybuilder, that Nathan. And I know him personally, so I know what makes him tick internally, and I know he's a fighter. He's trying to win everything he can. So, but if he's I just haven't heard that he was in like that.
Well, you would know if you're friends with him, I would think.
Right, I would. That's what I was saying. I was like, what?
What about Justin Rodriguez?
He's looking really sharp, man. I think he's gonna surprise a lot of people.
This guy is improving.
I spoke to him after Olympia this year, and I was like, man, keep your head up, man. Keep fighting because you're on your way.
I like the Corvette back in that picture. And today, Dave, I was walking down the street because I saw a Corvette. The car yards have the new Corvette over here. The mid-engine Corvette has arrived in Australia. People have already put orders in. The basic one, bottom of the line, $152,000.
Oh my God! You guys, the pricing over there in Australia is ridiculous.
The Z06 when it gets here could be around the $240,000 mark.
You might as well buy a Ferrari at that point. Why do you get buy a Corvette?
I know. Because a Ferrari here is like $800,000.
Yeah. Oh my God! Holy shit!
I drove the new Vet, man.
Did you?
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Hey, I got the Mustang back today. Horsepower on the Mustang today, 822 horsepower.
There you go.
And you didn't blow the engine?
No, and torque's 1,082, so the wheels are not hooking up.
Wow.
It's almost as much as my truck.
There you go. I can tow a caravan in the Mustang.
You got to turn it into all-wheel drive. So that's the only way you're going to hook up with that much horsepower. I don't know what that entails.
I'm going to drive it to Queensland on Wednesday. Now, touch wood, I've never been pulled over for a speeding ticket. I might have jinxed myself.
Yeah.
I heard in Australia they don't pull you over; they just send you the ticket in the mail. Is that true?
No, if you're going fast enough, they'll pull you over and confiscate the car. If you're going, if it's 40 or 50 kilometers over, they'll take the car off you.
Really, they will? Oh my God!
Yep.
Do you know that? Good? Are you good?
They'll take the car for what? Until you pay the fine, or for good?
Yeah, they'll impound it, or then some if you're going really over, like they got a thing called the hoon law. If you're driving like a hoon, they'll take the car and sometimes they'll crush it at the smashing piers. Yeah.
They're brutal over there, man.
But hey,
I don't even know why anyone would want to live there.
You know when I did all my car racing, because they say if you're speeding or you burn out the tyres, if you smoke the tyres up, or if you're speeding, they say that comes under the hoon law, like you're driving like a hoon. But I have 8 certificates over there that are all framed when I did my car racing, where it says I can handle cars at high speed and all this bullshit. So if I ever go to court, I could take my certificates of racing with me and say, Your Honour, look, I'm capable of handling a car at high speed. I'm not a hoon, so this is bullshit.
They'll tell you to go scratch your ass and fucking that'll be
go watch us crush your car.
Yeah, that's worse than any fine you could get, right? Having your car.
Exactly. That's the worst punishment.
At least in the United States, they take your car and they sell it at auction.
Well, the thing is, they'll take it even if, say, you've got a car loan and you're paying it off. They'll take it off you and crush it, so you're still going to pay for a car you don't have.
Wow. Between Canada and Australia, I don't know why anyone would want to live in either place, to be honest.
Hey, Chris loves Australia. What are you talking about? Chris likes it down here.
Sure do.
Yeah.
See, they screwed over Chris. He's never going back there. So.
Look, he's got over that, Dave. This is 2022, okay? He's got over that.
All right. Well, I want to just thank all you guys for joining us today. Obviously, basically look back at the life of Tom Prince, and he'll be missed. And hopefully, Chris, if you find out any more information, you can let us know, and I'll pass that on to our audience. And it's it's crazy because there's been so many guys in the '90s that we remember having fun times with and spending time training with, and that we've lost some recently. Chris Cormier, do you ever say to yourself, man, I grew up with all these guys in the gym, and all these guys that I knew, they're all just dropping. I mean,
all the time.
Worry you at all?
All the time, Dave.
Yeah. I think about it, right? We all think about it.
Because I'm just saying, if we would have placed bets, they probably would have thought I wouldn't have been here this long.
Yeah, you have a very thick head, though.
Well, just in case, Chris, come on, one more time, one last pose.
Yeah.
Come on, you want some of this? You want some of this?
You don't want none of this.
Chris is training.
No, you don't want this. You don't want this, buddy. This is 2005 nightmare, mate. Come on.
Hold on, get Breon over here so we can shut Lee up a little bit.
Hey, you look a little jimmied up there, buddy. I don't know.
Uh-oh.
You look at him. Look.
I think I got a crank.
I'd drop trowel right now.
Oh, Jesus. I'm ready. I'm taking the ball.
I was trying to think of how to get Lee back into competing. Why don't we just have a one-on-one? We'll give Cormier 6 months. We'll give Lee 6 months to get ready. And we'll just have a one-on-one battle. We'll call it like
Don't tell me, Dave.
The rematch. We'll bill it as the rematch, you know.
No, it'll be like that movie. Remember that movie Stallone and De Niro did, the grudge match?
Yeah.
All I need is a little cardio.
There you go.
I got that.
I bet I can sell tickets for it.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this guy.
Those aren't ads.
They're coming with me, but I got them.
Let me see if I can roll it still.
Oh, God, no.
So this is like when Arnold makes his friends like Ralph Moeller hit poses and shit like that. You know?
Hold on, here's my calf muscle. Here's my calf.
Little pieces.
Yeah.
The body
No one's showing their damaged body parts, if you notice, John.
Damaged. That's
Lee hasn't hit any poses with his right side. Cormier's hiding the tricep. You know?
Look at this guy.
Here comes the right arm. Here's the bad one.
Lee, Arnold always says the little guys, they like to hide away. Don't hide away so much. Hit that arm. Open that arm up.
Gotta sit out. Who you calling a little motherfucker? Hey, Crypt Keeper. Who the fuck you calling little?
You call it little.
Did you watch that video I sent you, John, about the hot guy, the arm? It was in the pumping iron.
Yes. I didn't see him in pump. I don't know who he was.
He was the guy. Remember the guy when Arnold's teaching the guy? He's like a hillbilly-ish looking guy. How to pose.
Oh, when he's like teaching him how to pose.
He's like, I like this pose.
Yeah.
Arnold's like, no, open up.
Yeah.
Guys, they like to hide away.
Yeah.
Well, that guy
I'll be done in
actually
a second.
worked for Nautilus for like 30 years.
Right.
Yeah. It said it in the film. He worked directly with Arthur Jones.
He was telling the greatest stories about Arnold and about the you know, they would go to lunch and they would be eating Diana balls and stuff like that. But you know,
how he got George Butler to get Arnold to train him. Arnold was going to charge him $50 an hour, which is
a
like
lot
in
back then.
1978. That's like more money than so 72. And so so George goes, no, Arnold, I need him for the film. You just got to train him every day. I might need him.
Like, all right, I'll train him. It's a great story.
I'm a bit worn out after that pose down there.
You're not going to go to the hospital. You're not going to the emergency room now, right? With the heart attack or anything.
Can you imagine the headline tomorrow? Cormier puts Priest in hospital.
From pose down.
2005 revenge.
Oh
I think I tore my bicep.
Don't hurt yourself, please. We got plans.
Hey,
Chris,
Dave, I hurt myself getting out of bed.
There you go. Well, Chris Cormier, what's going on with Breon? Give us an update since you got him right in the house.
It's just we have just under 4 weeks to go.
Classic, yeah.
Yeah, we've been going a few weeks here now here in San Diego, and he's tightening down. He's right down to like 190 right now, so he's about 10 pounds over.
Right.
And so it's just gonna be trying to get closer to that number before going over there to train the last few days in Columbus.
Right.
And man, we about to do some posing practice right after this session right here with you.
You mean after he's finished washing the dishes, he's going to go practice?
Yeah.
Make him work.
It's called the Karate Kid.
He's got to vacuum. He's got to vacuum first.
So
like, wash the dish, wash on, wash off.
Exactly.
Right.
Vacuum out, vacuum in, vacuum out, vacuum in.
Chris has got his whole apartment cleaned by Breon. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Then tomorrow he works on the cars outside, right? He's got to shine his car up.
Go pump up my tires on my bicycle.
He's like, Chris, how does this help me with my posing? He goes, trust me. Just trust me. I'm the master. Don't ask questions. You know?
Don't ask questions.
And when he gets on stage and he starts doing this, it's like, oh, that's like washing the dish. Oh, that's like drying the dish. I see it, master. I see it all coming together. That's putting the dish away. I'm putting the dishes away. Oh, yes.
Like, how did Chris get Breon to be so fluid and move with such grace on stage?
That's right.
All in the kitchen.
We don't want to give away your secrets, yeah.
They said bodies are built in the kitchen, see?
That's right.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap this up. I got to get some sleep. I know John's going to get some sleep. Chris Cormier, thank you for joining us and telling us, filling us in on all the action that's going on, Tom Prince, and all the past fun stories we had. Lee, thank you. Of course, Chris Aceto, thank you. John Romano. As we say every week here at Heavy Muscle Radio, we've been doing it for 13 years now with Heavy Muscle Radio.
The truth hurts.
Good night, everyone. We'll see you next week.
Hey, Chris.